So let's be honest, the headlines these past few weeks have been confusing, right? We're seeing Iran, a country that's always been focused on its fight with the US and Israel, suddenly launching missiles at its Muslim neighbors. What is actually going on? Well, the answer isn't really about today's conflict. It's about a story that goes back 30 years, a story of power, oil, and the real reason America built a military empire in the Middle East. And yeah, that's the central puzzle, isn't it? On the surface, it just looks like a regional war kicking off between Muslim nations. But the targets, they're not random. To really get what's happening, you have to look closer, not just at where Iran is firing, but what exactly they're aiming for. And boom, there it is. The one detail that flips this whole story on its head. Iran is claiming its fight isn't with its neighbors at all. It's with the superpower that has built massive military installations inside their borders. So the real question isn't why Iran is firing missiles, it's how in the world did those American bases get there in the first place? Okay, so first, let's just break down this attack and why, when you first look at it, it makes zero sense. And this really lays it all out, doesn't it? On one side, you've got Iran's big-name enemies, the United States and Israel. But then you look at the other column, where the rockets are actually landing. Kuwait, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, the UAE. Now, this isn't some accident. It's a very specific, calculated move. And to understand it, we have to rewind the clock. To get to the bottom of this, we've got to look at the long history of foreign powers setting up shop in the Middle East. Because this whole thing, it didn't start with Iran. It started more than a century ago. So back after World War I, it was the British Empire that kind of wrote the playbook for this. They let local kings handle the day-to-day stuff, building roads, running cities. But Britain, they held on to the real power through their military bases. Then World War II happens, Britain is weakened, has to pull out, and guess who steps in? The new superpower on the block, the United States. They wanted pretty much the same deal, but some strong local leaders, like Saudi Arabia's King Faisal, they pushed back. They kept the American military footprint really small, at least for a little while. And then came the man and the moment that just changed everything, the perfect excuse that America had allegedly been waiting for, and it arrived in the form of one guy, Saddam Hussein. You see, it's kind of wild, but it all started with Saddam as an ally. Yeah, he was backed by the US and his Arab neighbors to fight this absolutely brutal, devastating war against Iran. But after 8 long years, the war just ends. It's a stalemate. And now, Saddam is saddled with this massive $60 billion debt to his own allies. He flat out refused to pay. His argument? Hey, I fought that war for you guys. I protected you from Iran. Well, in retaliation, Kuwait basically decided to kneecap Iraq's economy by flooding the world market with cheap oil. And just like that, Saddam, the former friend, was now public enemy number 1 to his old backers. So he decides he is going to teach Kuwait a lesson. But there was one thing, and only one thing, that Saddam was truly afraid of: the United States stepping in. So before he did anything, he set up this super crucial meeting to figure out exactly what America would do. And according to a leaked transcript of that meeting, this is what the US ambassador told him. We have no opinion on the Arab-Arab conflicts, like your border disagreement with Kuwait. Now, to Saddam, that was a big, flashing green light. He heard that and thought, okay, they're not getting involved. And so he invaded. It took just 2 days. In 2 days, his army overran the entire country of Kuwait. By grabbing all those oil fields, Saddam Hussein pretty much overnight became the most powerful leader in the entire Arab world. But just as fast as Saddam took Kuwait, America's whole position did a complete 180. The country that literally days before said it had no opinion, well, now it was gearing up for war. And it's right here, in this moment, that our source material claims a very carefully planned strategy was put into motion. See, America's sudden change of heart wasn't just about liberating Kuwait. According to this perspective, this was the golden opportunity, the chance to finally get something they'd wanted for decades, a permanent military footprint right in the heart of the Middle East. And this slide here, it lays out the alleged 4-step plan. Step 1, create fear. The US secretly showed Arab leaders satellite images telling them, "You're next, Saddam's coming for you." Step 2, offer protection. Of course, the terrified leaders immediately asked for America's help. Step 3, state the condition. The US said, sure, we'll help, but there's a condition. You have to let us build large permanent military bases on your soil. And the final step, agreement.
The Arab leaders, feeling like they had no other choice, gave them the green light. And this is probably the most important part of the entire story. After Kuwait was freed, those American bases, they never left. What was sold as a temporary thing became a permanent 30-year launch pad for American power. I mean, think about it. These bases were absolutely central to the war in Afghanistan after 9/11, the 2003 invasion of Iraq, bombing runs in Syria and Libya, and yeah, even the recent operations in Yemen. They became the absolute nerve center of American power in the region. Which brings us right back to where we started. Full circle. After decades of watching these bases be used to project American military might all over the region, Iran is now finally striking back. According to Iran, the recent attacks against them, they weren't launched from America. They were launched directly from U.S. bases inside their Arab neighbors. So if you're looking at it from their point of view, they aren't attacking Kuwait or the UAE. They're attacking the American military hardware that's being hosted there. And make no mistake, these weren't just random rockets lobbed over the border. The source details really specific, high-value targets. Like in Kuwait, they hit Camp Rifjan, a massive U.S. supply warehouse. In Qatar, a billion-dollar radar system was apparently taken out. In Iraq, a huge refueling jet. In Saudi Arabia, several large U.S. military aircraft. Every single strike was designed with precision to take out a specific American military asset. So how'd they do it with such precision? Well, they reportedly use this really sophisticated tactic called hybrid warfare. Here's how it works. First, they send in a huge swarm. We're talking 50 to 60 cheap, simple drones. Their only job is to distract and overwhelm the base's air defenses. Then, while all the defenses are busy with the drones, that's when the real attack comes. An advanced hypersonic missile traveling faster than the speed of sound, hitting its target. Now, of course, the reality on the ground is always messy. It's the fog of war. Iran has admitted that some of its missiles did go off course and hit civilian areas, and they've apologized for that. But they deny being behind other attacks. In fact, the source alleges that Israeli agents have actually been caught trying to set off bombs to pin the blame on Iran and stir up more trouble. Iran also claims that some of the non-military-looking buildings it hit were actually secret offices for the CIA and Mossad. But at the end of the day, Iran's position, coming straight from its supreme leader, is crystal clear. To them, this war isn't with their neighbors, it's with the foreign military presence on their soil. And he says that as long as those bases are there, these attacks aren't going to stop. And that leaves us with this one big question to chew on. These bases were put there more than 30 years ago, and the whole justification was that they would bring protection and stability to America's allies. But when you look at the missiles flying today,